So I have this theory, man, where if you grow up listening to like a genre of music,
Yeah.
it kind of becomes engraved in you. So I'm curious, man, since you grew up listening to, Zouk music, do you think that it was easier for you to, learn Kizomba and learn musicality and everything?
Yes. I would say yes. Um.
Hey, everyone. On today's episode of the Two to Feet podcast, we had on the mesmerizing, the stunning, the spectacular Sensas Lionel. He currently lives in Germany, but was born in Guadeloupe, man. He is currently a Kizomba instructor. I love his dance moves. I love what he's doing for the Kizomba community, man. In this episode, we talk about, his childhood, what it was like growing up in Guadeloupe. We talk about the history of Caribbean Zouk music, being that he's from Guadeloupe, man. A great episode where we talk about Kassav, just a very wonderful episode. I loved, I enjoyed. I am so excited to bring this to you. Let's jump right into it.
All right, so check it out. I am now on the line with a Mr. Leo Frei, aka Sensas Lionel. And you
eh,
are a Kizumba dancer, performer, instructor, correct?
Yeah, exactly. More urban keys
Okay.
and keys after. Let's just say urban keys first.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I understand that. And so you currently live in Frankfurt, Germany, but you were born in Montebello, Guadeloupe, is that correct?
Exactly. I was born in a small town in Guadeloupe. Yeah, in a French island. So
Yeah,
it's in the
okay.
Caribbean. Yeah.
Hey. And I believe you currently work at Casanova Taxi Dancers. So are you a taxi dancer? Is that what you are?
Well, no, I'm not really. That's a joke on Facebook. I'm actually a taxi. Yeah, yeah. I am taxi dancing with for Casanova, true. But I'm not working there. I'm actually have a normal job. I'm the engineer working in energy market. Yeah.
Oh wow, okay, all right. I want to ask you this, man. I've never been to Guadalupe, man. So please tell me, what was it like growing up in Guadalupe, man?
Oh man, growing up in Guadeloupe is awesome because I didn't realize it before, but I was born in paradise, you know.
Hey,
So it's a
hey.
small island in the Caribbean, but we have a lot of resources, and the culture is really friendly. People are awesome, and the nature's just beautiful, you know. So when I was born there, I was just not realizing the beauty of my island, you know.
Right, yeah.
So now that I live in Europe, when I come back, I'm really every time blown away by the beauty of
Yeah.
the island. That's the thing. And also, why I'm pretty lucky to be from Guadeloupe is that the Zouk music, which is actually originate from
Yeah. The Caribbean island, Caribbean, right?
yeah, the Zouk music is one of the origins of the Kizomba music, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
So you grew up with it, right?
I grew up with the Zouk exactly. Even though I was not dancing our Zouk in the Caribbean, you know, um, I was really influenced by the music, and I really like to listen to it, you know. And I
Yeah.
would like that do me a favor in this interview at some point remind to people what is Zouk dance, you know, and Zouk music, because a lot of people now think that Zouk comes from Brazil.
Right.
This
No,
is
it's
not
two different things, man. The original was
exact-
Caribbean Zouk, right?
exactly, and we have to remind that the people again because it's a dance interview, and it will be nice to talk about
Of
it.
course, man. I mean, we can hop right into it. I'm curious, man. In your childhood,
Yeah,
how important was Kassav like in your family? Did you listen to Kassav at all?
yeah, of course, everyone is listening. to Cassave
Okay.
in Guadeloupe, Martinique. Also, we are actually two sister islands in the Caribbean.
Uh,
We are the strange people of the Caribbean because we speak French and not Spanish
right, right.
or English, you know. So that's why our culture is pretty strong and pretty unique. And well, there is also Haiti, but Haiti is
Exactly.
like
Yeah, yeah. Haiti. Yeah, yeah. They
Haiti.
speak French in Haiti as well. Haiti, how you say?
Of course, they speak French, but they are independent. You know, we are still linked to France, so that makes our culture a
Uh,
little bit different, also, right? So, well, the original question was about Kassab, and Kassab is, yeah, of course, everywhere, and you listen to it at the radio. There are clips at the TV of the whole time. You have a concert. A lot of all the bands are influenced from Kassab, and you notice it the whole time at the radio when you listen to other songs. Yeah. So I really liked it before, but well, I was not really focused on it, to be honest.
right,
Yeah.
right, right, right. I want to ask you this, man. How important was music like in your household? Like, was it always playing when you were a child, or like what in your neighborhood? What?
Actually, actually not. It was not so important in my house. Something that I discovered myself when I was growing up because I had just actually not a real experience with dancing when I was young. I was like a pretty normal student. Let's say I was going to school, enjoying my family. Of course, we were going to concerts. Music was always played in the house. My parents really loved music and played a lot of different CDs, but with a lot of different influence also. My father was a big fan of the Beatles,
Okay,
and
wow, okay.
they were playing this Latin remix from the Beatles. I always remember, So I had a lot of influence with different stuff actually, and well, this dancing stuff and the music, I have the link I have with music. Actually, I discover it within myself, and my mother always tells me that it's from her because when she was a child, she was dancing on every kind of beat, every kind of beat. In Guadeloupe, we have these sorbet machines. You make some ice with it, ice cream. It's a kind of machine you turn with the hands,
Uh-huh.
and you can make some ice. It's freezing the liquid inside. And it makes like a noise like ticka 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 ticka. And my mother was always saying me she was used to dance on it the whole time, and she was a strange child of the family because she was always dancing. So
Okay,
I
okay.
think I got it from her. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, so you definitely got that. I want to ask you this, man. So you said music wasn't that important in your household, man. What was your childhood like in Guadalupe, man? What was that like?
There was a lot of pretty calm, I have to say. I'm living in a place where all my family is, as they're all living in the same place, actually, all the
Oh,
cousins.
they're still there in Guadalupe.
Yeah, so it was a lot with of my cousins, a lot of going out, enjoy the night, the nature, doing some sport. It was also a lot about going to some concerts, stuff like this, right?
Okay.
So yeah, but pretty normal childhood, to be honest. Guadeloupe is a really calm island. We have only a lot of strikes sometimes, but that's it. It's pretty calm island, and you can enjoy your life as a normal kid there, right?
Yeah,
So.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
that
oh yeah, I get you. So you're growing up, you're growing up and everything. And I guess what makes you leave that island, man? Like, are you going to school? Like, what changes for you?
well, I was going to school and I graduated. Well, not graduate. I just finished high school there, and then because I wanted to at the beginning like do some architecture studies. There was no school of architecture in Guadeloupe. It's a small island, so we
Hey.
have only one university. It's kind of limited if you want to study. So that's why I had to leave and go to France.
Ah,
And that's was my first start in Europe.
okay.
So so that's the thing. I left you basically for the studies. Yeah.
How old were you when you left for France?
What do you say?
How old were you when you left for France?
Oh yeah, I left. I think I was 18.
Okay,
Yeah.
so enough. And tell me, man, what was it like? Going from living in Guadeloupe, I guess your whole life, right? And then making that transition to France. What was that like?
Well, that was kind of a shock also, a little bit, because Guadeloupe is a special island because you French, but not really French. You're born French, but you have the nationality, but not really the culture.
Right, right.
So when you arrive there, you realize actually you're not real French as you thought, because your culture is just different from other people. You have different accent, you have different manners. You're just like sometimes strange to other people, I think,
I
and,
understand.
and that's why leaving Guadeloupe made me understand how unique my culture is and how strong it is. So that was definitely a good move. And I keep growing also anyway, traveling after that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm curious, man. I don't really know much about Guadeloupe. So like, I guess you were a French colony at one point, right? And they kind of just left y'all there. Do you know what they teach you in history class about Guadeloupe?
What do you say? Sorry.
What did
The
they
last
teach
question.
you? Yeah, what did they teach you in history class about Guadeloupe? Like, were you
Oh,
you were obviously a French colony at one point?
yeah, exactly. So, um, the we were a French colony, and now it's called a department. So it's a
Ah,
part of France. It's just France, but in the Caribbean. With different people, different culture. But I mean, administratively, politically, it's just like France, right?
okay, okay.
Yeah, so we use Euro. We go to French school. We have French TV. We have also some local TVs from Guadeloupe. But we speak we speak a Creole. We speak a different type of French also.
Okay,
Well,
yeah, Creole French.
the main language is French. The official language is French, but we have a Creole that we speak in the family with friends. We make our culture really strong, and we're really attached to our Creole and the way
Hey,
we speak.
so yeah, I'm from New Orleans, man. I don't know if you know New Orleans, Louisiana, and that they have like a Creole French here, man.
Yeah, I heard about this in Louisiana
Yeah,
also. Yeah,
man. Yeah, they got like a weird slang down here, man. It's kind of crazy.
yeah. So we can speak French actually.
Oh no, no, no. I'm not from here. I don't speak French, man. As the check is
Hey, if you could leave a like and subscribe, that would be amazing for the channel. Let's get back to the video.
as the check is that so you move to France and you start going to school and everything, man. How was living in France? What was that like for you?
Well, when I was living in France, so I start my studies. Right, yes, it was pretty. How do you say? I don't know how to describe, but with the changing of the seasons and everything, you got snow, it's cold, and then the summer is short. The people are also a little bit more, let's say, a bit distant, more cold. Like European
Uh,
climate. It's not something bad. It's just the way it is. In the Caribbean, in the, let's say, hot countries, generally speaking, right? People are more like open, more like extravert. And in Europe, it's a little bit more different. You have people are a little more introvert. They are more focused about career stuff like this, and less about family values, for example. So it was a bit different. That's true, but also I have some family in France, so I was not alone. My sister is living there. I have also aunts and uncles, their cousins. So it was okay.
yeah, for
It was
sure.
not my best time. It was not my best years in France, to be honest, for my personal, let's say, personal life. But it was okay. Yeah.
I'm curious, man. So you're going to France and everything. Is that where you got introduced to Urban Kids and Kizomba or?
Not at all. Not yet. Not at all. So when I was in France, basically I was just basically normally studying. I was going to the university and then to the engineer school. and basically I was not dancing yet. I
Oh.
started to dance pretty late actually, but it just was just overwhelmed by dancing, and I just realized it's so something that I missed in my life, and that I should make the most out of it and dance as much as possible. So I started like 6 years ago to dance, man. Before I was not at all dancing.
That's impressive, man. And so wait, how old are you now? Can I ask?
Sorry?
I said, how old are you now? May I ask?
Yeah, I'm 31 right now.
Okay, so what, 25 then, right? Started dancing you 25?
I started
20.
exactly at 25.
Well, showed enough, man. And so how did you get introduced to Kizomba?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting story. So, I arrived in Germany for my last semester of studies, and um, obviously I was feeling good in Germany, but I was missing this. I was really missing this feeling from my island, from my hometown. At some point, you know, I was living in Europe for many years at this point, and I missed something, and I decided to start dance classes for salsa. You know, to
Okay,
say
started
okay,
with sauce.
I thought okay, starting salsa will help me to meet people and to have more warm feeling, warm atmosphere, I guess. So this is exactly what happened. I was introduced to salsa first and met awesome people and discovered the whole dancing community and discover how people are different when they dance and how happier they are when they dance and how open they are, you know. So that's why I just stick to this community because I just felt that's where I was belonging, you know.
Right, right,
Because
right. Yeah.
so I basically started with salsa 2 years with a small city in Kassel in Germany, but still pretty active salsa scene, to be honest. And then they had a party every Thursday in a club called Maya Koba, I remember. And uh, at some point, the DJ decided to play what I heard like Zouk music.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
was,
Yeah.
I was basically in Germany in a small town of less than 100,000 inhabitants, and I hear the music of my island there, you know.
Right, right.
And then I see starting I see people dance a kind of tango, and I was like,
It looks like
what
that.
the
I
hell?
can see that. Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is this? And it looks good. I want to learn this. And I went to talk to the DJ and asked him what was this dance, and he told me it was Kizomba. And I say, no, man, this is Zouk. And after discussion, I realized, okay, that in Cape Verde and Angola, they had also this type of music, and I was not aware of it, right? And that they were dancing totally differently than us, because in the Caribbean, we dance Zouk as a kind of tarashinia with the hips. So
Oh,
it's really
right.
close, really sensual. Uh, I mean, the modern version called Zouk Love. This is what I grew up with that. So the young of my generation were dancing this really close dance. So that's why I was pretty surprised to see people doing actual steps and technique on this dance, and it gave me really the wish to learn it because to be honest, I like Zouk music, but I didn't really like the dance because it was too sensual for me. You know, I was 18,
Right. Yeah, yeah,
and you're like hugging really close to some ladies. So for me, I was a bit shy for that, right? So I was really surprised to see that we can actually learn steps and dance on it. And for me, it was like a revelation. I was like, I can finally enjoy the dance of my island.
yeah. Right,
Uh,
right.
the music of my island, then something interesting and really cool also is that in the Zouk music in French, I understand the lyrics, you know,
Yeah.
and to be honest, the lyrics sometimes are, it's always the same. It's like, baby, I miss you, come back. You know, always this kind of mood where the guy is like crying for the girl. So sometimes it was a bit pissed off also by the music because it's always the same. And in Kizomba, I don't understand it because it's Portuguese. So for me, it was the second reason to start learning. Yeah.
I want to you what said you wanted to talk about? I guess the difference between Zouk and Kizomba. Is that what you want to talk about?
Um, yeah, I just want to remind that to some people because now I'm dancing around the world, and when I meet people and I say that I'm from the Zouk, they think automatically about the
Brazilian.
Brazilian Zouk.
Right, right.
And something which is went a bit wrong in the dancing community, how Brazilian Zouk developed, because most of the people are not aware that there was another Zouk before.
Of course.
There
So
is,
oh
not
yeah, so
before, there
oh yeah.
is.
So the reason I'm not mistaken is that in Brazil, in northern Brazil, they were getting this Zouk music and they started dancing lambada to that Zouk music. Is that correct?
This is how I heard it. Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
they had the lambada, and at some point they wanted to try other type of music, I guess, or I don't really know exactly how it happened, but they started to dance on Zouk music and realized that it was actually cool and it was going. The moves were going well with the music. So apparently they just took the name Zouk because they didn't know that we had another dance on it.
Right, right.
They took the name Zouk because they knew that the music was called Zouk, and
Exactly.
they called the dance Zouk also. And that's why I think something that was a bit wrong because what can you do? We are 500,000 in Guadeloupe, and Martinique they have also 500,000 people, I guess. And in Brazil there are how many? I mean, 20 million people. I
Okay,
don't.
I'm
I'm
not
not
even
even
sure. Yeah, I'm not even sure honestly.
I don't want to say mistake, but anyway, there are millions of people. So how? What can you do? Our culture was not strong enough to how do you say to keep the this identity of the Zouk music, right? So of the Zouk dance. So that's why Brazilian people just took it to Europe after, and from this point it just boomed,
Yeah,
and the real Zouk lost its identity actually. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah. I want to ask you this, man. You said Zouk. I guess the Zouk dance was very similar to Tadashinya. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
I said I
if
didn't know
you
that. I didn't know
if
that.
you if you look at people dancing Zouk, um, you you could uh, think that it's Tarashinya. If you
Ah,
don't really know the difference, you could think because we use a lot of hips movement and we are really close to the partner when we dance.
uh-huh.
But at the end, the moves are a little bit different because we use basically only the hips almost.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right. So if I'm not
Shinya,
mistaken, no, keep going, keep
sorry.
going. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
At
Keep going.
Shinya, you have a lot of belly movement, a lot of different. It's also a lot of hips movement, but the vibe is a bit different.
Yeah,
If you know compa music, compa dance also is developing a lot in the Kizomba community now, and the compa dance is similar to the Zouk, the original.
yeah, yeah. I say Zouk and Tadashinya, they're both very sensual, right? They're
Yeah.
both kind of like lovey-dovey, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, I'm curious,
Exactly.
man. I want to hear though. Tell me, what was it like for you in your beginner stage learning Kizumba? What was that like?
Uh, it was hard. It was really, really hard to be honest. Because first, as I say, I started dancing relatively late, and then I started actually with salsa. And with salsa, you have a pattern. You have your basic steps you have to
Right, right.
respect. Kizomba, you're totally free, so your basic steps actually walking. And the time you need to realize that you are actually totally free in Kizomba, uh, you actually you need a lot of time to realize it. To be honest,
Right, 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 right.
and what is cool about Kizomba also, it really teaches me musicality,
Of course.
balance, body awareness, a lot of different stuff that you don't get when you just learn salsa moves, because I started in Europe, a relatively modern salsa, on I think it was LA style, yeah. So in LA style, you basically learn moves, right? You don't really learn the culture of salsa and the all what's before, right? Or maybe I just learn it wrong, wrong. I don't know, but most of the people I think in Europe just want to learn steps, but don't learn
Right,
the
like
essence.
turn patterns and all that, right?
They want to have fun, they want to, which is actually good, right? But you don't get to understand the culture and the foundations when you just want to make steps and turns, right? And in Kizomba, they really insist about it, at least at the beginning of the Kizomba when I started, well, I didn't start at the beginning, but I think I started relatively early to have some Kizomba basics, right? Because now there are a lot of urban Kiz and people start directly with urban Kiz. And I think it's also another topic, but I think you lose a little bit the basics of the Kizomba like this, but right. So
Oh, so
yeah,
real quick though, what did you start with? Do you know? Did you start with Urban Kids or did you start with Kizumba?
no, I started with Kizomba, right?
Okay.
So I actually learned the original Kizomba from the beginning, but
Nice.
I changed to Urban Kiz. Yeah.
And let me ask you this, man. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can put it into words, but can you
Yeah.
tell me what's the difference between Kizumba and Urban Kids? Do you know?
Yeah, well, I think everyone has his own opinion about this.
Right, right, right. What's your opinion? Can you tell me, please?
Some people say it's just a style. Urban Kids is just a style. Some people say it's a totally different
I
dance.
see. I've heard people say that Urban Kids and Kizumba are two different, completely different dances. That's what I've heard people say.
Yeah, but me honestly, I don't really agree with that. Only, and the reason is because let's say in the family urban kids and kizomba, if you go to festivals or to parties, you have a lot of different type of music they play, right? And me, I always link the dance to the music.
Right. Well,
And
as you should.
as soon they will play kizomba and urban kids in the same parties, for me it will never be a totally different dance, because you have to always change your posture, your connection, uh, in order to respect the music and the musicality. And this is for me what makes kizomba and urban kids really strong dances, is that you can play a lot with the music and you can really respect the patterns, and what you hear in the music you can actually really express it with your movements and with your body, right? So me honestly, when I hear different music, I just change my posture, my pattern, my mood. I really absorb the music, and my moves change also automatically. So
Yeah.
for me, for me, they are not so different, honestly.
Mm.
You just have to change, tweak a little bit, but at the end, you have the same basics. You have
Oh, yeah.
the same,
Okay.
and from these basics, then you can grow to urban kids, right?
Right, right, right. I'm curious, man. I don't know if we really got on it. Could you tell me what is something that you struggled with when learning Kizomba or Urban Keys? Either one. What's something you struggle with?
Struggling. I think it was with the syncopations when you want
Ah, okay.
to change rhythm, right?
I
Because
have that
in
problem as well.
yeah, and this is honestly what makes me change to urban keys,
Ah,
or evolve faster in urban keys, let's say, because
exactly.
in urban you have more variations, you have more musical, how do you say, you have more differences. Kizomba is relatively flat, and urban keys you have a lot of different things happening in the songs, a lot of different elements that you can express. It's even more than in urban keys. So, and that's why syncopations in urban keys, so acceleration of the rhythm is makes sense. It makes sense in Kizomba. It makes sense, but not on every song, right?
Right, right, right.
Um, So I think because I wanted to do it so much, for me it was something really impressive to see this change of speed, from slow to double tempo to half tempo, and it's really what fascinated me in the kizomba. And the more the music changes, the more you were allowed to do this change of mood, of tempo. And I think I struggled at the beginning really a lot, because you have to change your body tension accordingly also, in order to express these syncopations. And
Yeah.
this is something that's really difficult when you're not from a dancing education, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm curious, man. For people like myself and others who are having issues with learning syncopations, what advice could you give us?
That's a good question, but I think I learned a lot alone, syncopation. Yeah. I was listening a lot to music alone at my home and really tried to get it. What should I do to make syncopation? I noticed that there are a lot about signals. You have to identify the signal to give before syncopations, but they are really subtle. It's about moving your body in a certain direction to signalize to the lady that you're gonna accelerate,
Mm.
and also raise your body tension. It's really subtle things that
Right, right. It's subtle.
yeah, you need to train a lot to realize it. But I would say also, if you if you feel comfortable by doing syncopations, um, you will never really learn it, I think, because
Mm.
your body has to feel a different amount of tension that's not used to. Uh, and if you don't feel this different, if it's actually not a bit hard at the beginning and not comfortable, you, it's really hard to get. You really have to force yourself to be in an uncomfortable situation with syncopation in order to learn it. So it's hard. You will sweat, you will feel tension and maybe cramps sometimes, but
Yeah.
this is how you develop it, and it's how it
Yeah.
works. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
So
this is what we say also about go, if you want to think out of the box, do something totally different. It has to be a bit uncomfortable at the beginning, right? So this is
right,
the
right.
same thing with patients. Right?
Yeah. So I have this theory, man, where if you grow up listening to like a genre of music,
Yeah.
it kind of becomes engraved in you. So I'm curious, man, since you grew up listening to, Zouk music, do you think that it was easier for you to, learn kizomba and learn musicality and everything?
Yes, I would say yes. Mhm. Um, I don't know about the dance and the movement. I will not say that Zouk music allowed me to dance better. Listening to Zouk music allows me to dance better, but it allowed me to understand the music structure in order
Hey, right,
to
right.
express a better musicality, I think. Uh, Also, I started to play drums also um, late when I was in Guadeloupe, and drums also give you a lot of understanding of the music and of the patterns and
Definitely,
everything. But
yeah.
I think honestly it comes more from the fact that I used to listen a lot of Zouk, and that the DJs now in Urban Kiz, they are also influenced by Kizomba and the original Zouk. So they use the same pattern, maybe unconsciously, but they use the same pattern. And I think for musicality and understanding of the music, yeah, it helped a lot.
Of course, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I want to get back to, I guess, your path and your journey, man. So, you start dancing 6 years ago and everything. Um, I I guess at what point do you feel like you're confident enough to start teaching?
To be honest, I never felt confident when I start teaching. It was a big challenge for me. I was living at this time in a city called Köln in Germany, Cologne, and a guy from a dance teacher who is a friend of mine now. Um, what I say, a guy from dance school, I mean, right? So he asked me if I wanted to take his class and teach because he didn't have time to teach so much.
And I'm curious.
Uh,
And how long had you been dancing at that point? I'm very curious.
at this point, I've been dancing 1.5 years actually.
Okay,
Well,
okay.
and honestly, I didn't feel so comfortable to start teaching because I thought I don't know enough or I'm not allowed to teach because I don't have I don't know a degree or in teaching or
Right,
anything.
right, right.
But at the end, I realized that there was a big demand for that. People wanted to learn, and I was saying to myself, you can always learn from people who know more than you anyway. So I said, okay, I know I'm not the best dancer, but I will take this offer and start teaching because those people can learn from me because I've been dancing now almost 2 years and they never dance it, so I can tell them something. I can teach them something, right? So this is how it started, and by teaching also, I just improve my understanding of the dance,
Right,
and
of
I just
course.
feel better by understanding all the details. And when you want to explain to people, you explain to yourself. So yeah,
Let me
that
ask you this, man. What was it like learning to teach? What was that like?
It was a lot of trials and errors, but at this point also I had been visiting a lot festivals and a lot of workshops. So I learned a lot from different teachers, and I was also taking classes myself. So yeah, I actually tried to replicate what I saw and researching on internet and yeah, just listening to my own feeling also because I'm a guy, I want good to people, and I realized that when I listen, just listen to myself. I just have sometimes I just come up with good ideas just to explain to people and to give them love and what they need because you teaching is not only about teaching steps, it's
Of
about
course, of
entertaining
course.
people, it's about um give them a good feeling. A lot of people come after work and they want to relax, they want to have fun, they don't just want to learn technique and be stressed. So I just give what I had in my heart to people.
Yeah.
So that thing, it's also a really interesting topic I would like to talk about also, is that um I had the impression at the beginning also that yeah, people were still thinking, yeah, he's already starting to teach, but he's not so experienced and everything. But I had a lot of experience in social dancing because at this point I have been visiting, I think, in 2 years, like almost something like 30 festivals.
Okay,
So
wow.
so yeah, at the end, what you teach, you teach social dance. So um, you 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 should be also a social dancer. So I think I was in a good position to teach social dancing to people because I was visiting a lot of festivals, a lot of big social events with the highest level. Even though I was not the best dancer, I had a really big experience in social dancing. So I was teaching social dancing, right? And a lot of other teachers who were really into dancing since a long time, I think, were a bit criticizing this, or at least I felt it, right? But they were not visiting as much festival as me.
Oh, right, right,
So
right.
at the end, you teach people who want to dance social dancing. So when I thought about it, I really felt better about myself teaching because I thought, okay, I'm teaching social dancing to people who want to learn social dancing, and I'm a social dancer. So
Ah.
For me, I felt legit, when I thought about this,
I guess yeah, you're not trying to teach, I guess a performance. You're teaching how to social dance.
Exactly, this is the thing. A lot of teachers they come from show dance, they come from a lot of different dances, a lot of technical stuff, right? So they can teach, of course, they are really great dancers and great teachers, but sometimes they don't have this social part, and they want to teach a bit strict to people who just want to have fun, right?
Right.
I think the good thing as a teacher is also be able to identify what is the need of my students. What are they looking for? Why is this guy there? Why is this lady there? What I can give you. So you have to give them exactly what they need, right? And being a social dancer helps you also to identify these needs, all right? And yeah, that's what also makes Kizomba really interesting,
Mm.
because you can actually find a lot of well, how do I express that? Um, you can come to Kizomba for different reasons, right? You come first for satisfaction, right? When you want to start something, you want to get satisfaction out of it, right? So either you come to Kizomba to get hugs. You want just to hug people, right? Some people just like to hug,
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
Kizomba is so unique. You just connect with people and dance. It's not so technical as other dances, to be honest, right? Kizomba is from the beginning less technical than other dance like Brazilian Zouk, like
Right, right,
sensual,
right. Like
like
salsa, like
yeah,
salsa.
yeah, exactly. So to be honest, you have to recognize it. So some people just come to hug. So if you know that, then you give to people what they need. Some people want to learn technique, so we can teach them steps. Some people come to and just meet people and be social.
Right,
So
right, right.
tell them how to interact with other people. Tell them how to be more confident to invite ladies and to invite guys, for example. So there are a lot of different reasons. Me, honestly,
Yeah.
I came for the love of the music and for the musicality you can express. So when I also recognize people who came for the same reason, so I can
Right.
give them the
You
same
give off that
tips.
energy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to ask you this though, man. Let me ask you this. Something I've noticed, like talking to a lot of other people as well. Is that there is kind of like an overabundance of kind of like teachers right now, man. Um,
Yeah.
so how does, hmm, I guess, how do you know? I guess a two-part question. How as myself as a student, how do I know how to find a good teacher, and as well as someone who teaches, how do they know when they're ready to teach? If you've been dancing 2 days, like, are you now qualified to teach? Like, well, where's that cutoff point? If you understand me.
So first about the question with the student, how can you identify a good teacher? Um, it depends what you need. So exactly, what there are good dancers and good teachers. So let's say you want to learn cool steps. So see if this teacher has some videos on the internet, or he has a blog, or if he's posting some cool videos, so you can see if the style fits to yours, right? This is really what you want to learn from him. Yeah, but you will never know if he's a good teacher.
Right.
Watching videos. So you have to ask people about his reputation. You have to see if he has a Facebook account or different, or he's active on other social platform, and see how people react to him, and if he's actually having uh, like attention from other people. And I think
Right.
when you have attention from other people, it shows that people love you. So it shows that you bring something to people, right? People will not love you just like this. So they love you because you give them something. So I think if you see that a teacher has cool videos and he looks good and fits what you want, um, and if he's popular and if he thinks you have a good personality, and if people love him, then I think you can assume that he's a good teacher.
Okay. And so, what about the second part of that question, if you remember it?
The second part was, how do I know that I'm ready to teach?
Oh yeah, yeah, or yeah, anyone, yeah.
Um, it depends where you live, I would say. And I would just repeat what I said also before. You can always give something to people. If you come for a really small town for 10,000 inhabitants and there is no Kizomba, no urban kids, and you see people want to learn it, people post about it, ask for it, and you have a little bit of experience. So why not start teaching?
Okay,
Why not?
sure
I mean,
enough. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're the only one there who can do that. So people expect that you can at least bring them some basics, right? And by bring teaching some basics, you will improve yourself, and
Exactly.
you will. The I think the key is never think that you know everything, never think that you're the best teacher, never think that you're a great teacher actually.
Right.
Just think that you always can learn, that you can always be better. And if you keep this, we will improve as a teacher, and you will take your students with you.
Hey, I want to ask you this, man. Going off of that, how important is it for a teacher, to always be learning, continuously learning?
How important? Yeah, because you want to keep your students, and because kizomba is also a dance that you can learn pretty fast, if you are, at least if you have some dancing education. I see people learning kizomba in 6 months, mostly ladies, right? For ladies it's a bit easier because they follow from the beginning, and as follower, we realized that, I think the whole dancing Kizomba community realized that it's actually easier for follower. Uh, so I kind of lost the original question right now.
No, no
I
worries. Just,
forgot.
anyone, just always being a student, always learning, right? That's important, right?
Yeah, exactly. So how important it is to keep learning. So yeah, if you notice that at some point your students start to become really good and better than you, so yeah, you have to keep your students and your people following you. You have to keep improving and better yourself, right?
Yeah.
That's You have to find the time and the right people to teach you, right? So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to ask you this, man. What are some lessons that you've learned from dancing that you're able to translate to your everyday life?
yeah, good question. So one of the reasons why I decided to start is because a couple of years ago I was really shy person. I was not so self-confident, and I was always wishing to learn about self-development, to become a better person, just to be becoming a better person, to be able to give more to people and to love more myself. So for me, I just realized, okay, being a teacher and teach in front of people is a bit also kind of being a bit of a leader, right? So I decided to just jump in the water and do it because it could bring me this quality I was looking for. And exactly what I was saying is that learning to talk in front of people, learning to animate a class, learning to improvise, because you always have to improvise when you teach. You come with a definite pattern in your head, but 90% of the time it's not what I'm teaching. You always have to change it and to adapt it to the people who are here, right? So you learn a lot about, so being confident, talk in front of people, and improvise. This is what I learned, and I can apply it to my daily life. And what you expect is not what you get.
Right. Yeah, sure enough.
Yeah.
Um, Let me ask you this, man. For people out there who are beginners right now, and they
Yeah.
might feel like they're stuck, like they're not improving. What
hmm
advice could you give them?
Um, yeah. So how I what what really helped me, I would say, um, is I think that I built a deep connection with the dance by dancing alone in my house,
Yeah, just practicing
listening
though. Yeah.
listening a lot to the music. I think if you want to improve at some point, the music and the dance has to touch your soul. And if you keep dancing only in a social event, only to meet people, um, it will never really touch your soul. You have to be alone with the music at some point, really, and try to understanding yourself. Invite some friend to your house and say, "Oh, let's train together. Let's try to get it." Uh,
Yeah.
Try to build this deep connection and intimate connection with the dance, by being alone or with a friend only, and try to talk about it, dance, try different stuff, right? That's what I would say. And also, um, if you want to learn steps and becoming better in a technique, what you could do also, if when you go to a dance party, um, always come in ahead what you want to improve. So you come to the dance party and you have in head what you want to do better. You have maybe a routine or something, and just focus on it. Every time you
Right.
dance with a different lady, then try the same pattern and do it in circle, in loop. Don't stop. Don't never give up also. And yeah, so keep dancing. Social dancing is really important. A lot of people just take classes, but at the end you want to be a social dancer, so you want to go to dance. So
Yeah.
don't take on, go to dance, and don't go only to dance but also take classes. So I think if you are both, you can only improve.
Yeah. I'm curious, man, for people, a little bit further on, for people who are intermediates and they
Yeah,
want to get to that advanced level, what does it take for them?
you have to really dance a lot. You have to make it your first goal at some point. You have to think about it the whole time. It has to be your priority if you want really
Yeah.
to improve. The dancing, the music has to go in all your body cells. And uh, I would say something I think it helped me a lot was going to see. I don't want to make advertisement here, but it's maybe the right moment because now it's a big festival called Roving Sasa Dance Festival in Croatia,
Okay.
and I was there 2 years in a row for 14 days. So it's there
Wow.
are basically
Nice.
festivals just next to each other. So you have like 2 full weekends, and in the middle you have also some social dancing outside. So you basically living, thinking
Right. Right.
about dancing the whole time, 24 hours for 14 days.
That's awesome,
So
man.
this is really what helped me a lot, and I was really focusing on dancing there. A lot of people focus about holidays, about traveling, about meeting people or other stuff, but me, I was really dancing though, every day, at least I think 8 hours per day.
Oh,
It's like was like
wow.
it was like a work. At least I'm saying 8 hours, but I think I definitely it was definitely more.
Okay.
And I remember a friend of mine had, this kind of watch. I don't know the names, or count your steps.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name of it either. But I know what you're
Yeah,
talking about. Yeah, yeah,
I don't remember, but there was a friend of mine wearing this watch, and she broke her record of steps, and she made, I think, 15 kilometers
yeah. Oh,
dancing in
wow.
one day.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
So I think she was definitely dancing more than the 12 hours this day, but still, she made that all these steps is the same thing. It's what I'm saying. If you want to go to this advanced level, so really focus on it. Take some dancing holidays and do it 100% of the time.
Yeah, that definitely will help. You'll definitely get better.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, man. Can you give me one tip that can make someone a better dancer immediately?
Immediately. There is no there is no such thing, man. There is no miracle solution. You always take hard work and training and thinking and everything. So you cannot be a big dancer instantly. And so I'm really sorry, but
Hey, I
or
understand.
at least I didn't find the solution. Mm, if you think about it, as I said, 2 weeks of intense dancing in your all dancing life can look as instantaneous, because if you, let's say you dance for 3 years and you stuck and you just go 2 weeks and you dance all the day, so it's pretty fast actually.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And what about this, man? Can you give me, are there any hints for improving your musicality? Any tips on that? How to improve your musicality?
I would say to improve your musicality, it's also might take a little bit of time, but try to learn about an instrument. For example,
Ah,
drumming.
okay, okay.
Try to take some classes about percussions and drumming, and I think you will understand a lot about the music structure, and you will be more familiar with it. It will help a lot. But as a really fast solution, uh, I don't know. I would say just listen a lot to music. Listen a lot to music and try to not thinking about step when you dance, but think about the music and
Yeah.
ask yourself what kind of move goes well on this type of sound or stuff like this.
Nah, I think the music dictates everything, man. So yeah, I think when you become more acquainted with the music, you listen to it more. I think that improves your musicality. So I definitely agree with that.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's my.
man. I wanna I guess I really just wanna thank you, Lionel, for taking time out to talk to me, man.
You're welcome, man. It's a big pleasure to really talk about my passion and talk with you.
Yeah.
You're from States, and it's really awesome to get interviewed by you. And I wish you a lot of success for your channel. And be sure that I'm gonna share the video and talk about you.
Hey.
And can I ask you also some questions? Is it allowed for me? Or
Of course, man. I
yeah.
would love that.
So how did you start this channel? And why did you took this name, to left feet?
Hey. All right, shut up, man. So I started this channel, man, cause dancing is kind of like the only passion I guess I really have, man. I've been dancing for the past like 7 or 8 years myself, man. Kind of like you. I started with salsa, moved on to bachata, found out Kizomba, and I'm currently learning Brazilian Zouk, man. So
Nice.
yeah, man. So but I love dancing. I love taking dancing classes, man.
Mm.
Um, yeah, man. I came with the two left feet, man, because like I said, I started when I was about 20, 21, man. And before that, man, I was scared of the dance floor. So I could not dance, bro. So, like, needless to say, I had two left feet, man. So, I'm glad that, I'm able to kind of like give back to the dance community by doing this, man.
That's great, man. I really love your initiative because it also shows how social dancing have become big in the last years.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was saying that I think there is dancing, there is professional dancing, there is shows and everything, but there is social dancing, and it's totally different.
Of course. Two
It's a
different
big
skills.
community. It's a big community. You come for different reasons there, not only for dancing, you also meet people and just be social.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I find it really awesome that also people who never danced before just can start social dancing and feel comfortable with it, right?
Yeah, of course.
And I think you have this kind of same story as me, so it's really cool, and I really appreciate and really encourage you to go on.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Hey,
Yeah.
so hey, real quick, man. So I know you teach, correct?
Yes.
And so are you teaching weekly or do you just do it at festivals? Like, pretty much this. What are some of the upcoming events you have going on?
Uh, The upcoming events, I have pretty big events actually. I have to say, are coming that in the next months. I will be teaching at Eiffel Tower Festival in Paris in August, or at the All Star Festival in Budapest, which is actually a huge festival with salsa, bachata, Kizomba, Zouk, everything. Um, Also at the Light Festival in Frankfurt. So pretty big names right now. So pretty proud about it. Um, so now I'm teaching in Frankfurt right now on a monthly basis because I decided to go a little bit down with it. And um, for example, for now it's okay, but I'm also teaching on some weekends and different events. Sometimes some organizers just invite me for some workshops. They just found me on the internet and they see they follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, and they like my attitude, my teaching. So they just invite me for some workshops and also some festivals. So this is basically what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's for people who might, who might live in Germany. Where are you teaching at? Like, how can they? I can't. How can they take a class with you?
So they have to come to Frankfurt to the Kizomba Fabrik is the name of the dance school where I'm teaching.
And like, and what days can you like? What days? What times, man?
On Tuesday at 9
Okay, awesome,
p.m.
bro. Hell yeah. And so real quick, man. How can people get in contact with you? How can they reach out to you?
Yeah, per Instagram or Facebook. I'm pretty active in the social media, so there is no better way to contact me. Just write me on Facebook, Leo Frei, or Instagram, Sensas Lionel. And yeah, that's the best way to do it. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, yeah. So I'll tell you this, man. When I post this online, I'm gonna make sure I put all your contact information in the details. All right, man.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Nice. Thank you,
yeah,
man.
yeah. Yeah, of course, man. So like I said, Lionel, man, I really, really do appreciate you taking time with you to talk to me. I really appreciate that, bro.
You're welcome. I'm really pleased about it. And I would like to finish on something, if you can allow
Of
me,
course.
if
Oh
we
yeah,
are
of course, man. Of course, bro. Please.
just by saying that a couple of years ago, I saw an interview of the great Miles Davis,
Jazz player. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
great jazz player. Um, he was saying that he was really influenced by the Zouk music from the Caribbean,
Oh,
from
I didn't
Kassav
know
actually.
that. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
he's been really fascinated by it for some time. After a concert he had in he visited a concert of Kassav in New York, I guess, and after it was fascination for him. So he started to study Zouk, and he made a whole album with Zouk influence from what he learned from Kassav and
What's it
all those.
called?
I think it's called Matamba, if I remember well.
Matamba.
You can write Matamba to Miles Davis or
See,
Matambe.
I'm definitely gonna check that out. That sounds very interesting, man. I'm definitely gonna check that out.
Yeah. And he said, um, some people were interviewing and said, how did you come up with this album? And he said that Zouk music was one of the most impressive uh, music that he knows, and that he's sure that in some years after his death, Zouk music will take over the world.
Hey, hey, hey.
And this is exactly what's happening with Kizomba because Kizomba is actually based on Zouk music. This is
Of
the same
course.
reason from the beginning, right? So he has a really great vision. It's actually what's happening right now. So it's really beautiful.
Yeah. Real quick, man. I'm curious. Have you heard of bonga?
Bonga,
Yeah.
you mean the music instrument or
Oh no. So a Zouk artist as well, bonga.
a
Have you heard of him?
bongo? I don't know. No, I don't think so. No.
Okay, I'm just curious, man. He's another Zouk artist. I really enjoy him.
Where,
But I was
where,
just
where is
curious.
he from? Where is he
Oh,
from?
man, I want to say he's from Angola, man, but I could be mistaken. But I was just curious if you had heard him. He is another wonderful. Actually, I believe he might be Kizumba though. I think he's more Simba. You know Simba, right?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
I'm curious. Do you dance any Simba?
I've I dance samba, but I didn't really learn it from
Okay.
the beginning. Uh, so for a simple reason that I don't connect so much with the music as I connect
Oh,
with it.
okay.
Uh, But I think indirectly by dancing kizomba, and when you listen to it for a long time, you kind of understand the difference in your dancing, in your posture, in your leading. And I think, yeah, I got it actually, um, indirectly.
Ah,
And yeah, I'm just visiting some workshop for samba from time
yeah.
to time.
Okay,
Always try
yeah.
to learn and keep improving. So yeah.
Hey. So yeah, wait. The people are gonna grill me in the comments. Uh, Bonga is a Simba artist. I just want to get that out there. I'm not confused. Yeah, he
All
doesn't do
right.
Zouk. Yeah, he's Simba.
All right.
I wish I could get that
Yeah,
straight.
that's why I don't know.
Shut up. Hey, but Alana, man, I want to say thank you again, bro, and just enjoy the rest of your day. All right, man.
Thank you, Terrence.
Hey.
Okay, let me know about the rest.
Oh
Thank
yeah, I'll
you.
definitely let you know, man. Thank you so much, Lana, man.
Thanks, man. See you
All
soon.
right, bro. Take it easy, man. Hey.
Yeah.
All right, so hey everyone. If you made it this far to the end of the video, I want to thank you so much for just watching this. I really hope that you found value in this. My whole goal in this endeavor is to give a voice to people, to dancers, and to give value to the dance community. So if I'm not giving value, it's kind of pointless. So I strongly urge you to please comment and let me know where I can improve, what I need to do better, what I'm doing wrong, and hopefully what I'm doing right. But my overall goal is I want to give content. I want to be helpful. So please let me know where I can improve upon. I'm new to all this, so I'm learning as I go. So I need like feedback. Please comment and just let me know how I can improve. I would greatly appreciate that. That means the world to me, just to be able to interact with you all, have a conversation with you, and just see what you like and what you don't like. That means the world to me. I love interacting with you all. It means so much to me. But yeah, thank you so much for making it this far into the video. I gotta say, please leave a like, subscribe. If you don't like it, then let me know why not. Hit the down like button, hit the unlike button. But thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.